Good morning. I wanted to share something personally relevant to me, but I wanted to share in hopes that it can land for you in a way that makes it a little bit more helpful to understand how astrology can work for you, or how decoding can work for you. And also I just kind of want to record this for my own personal remembrance, because it feels profound, and it for me is a great reminder of how the divine is always at play, and astrology being a language to try to decode and understand what our blueprint is and how we're moving through it. And this one really blew my mind this morning, and so I kind of want to just capture the moment and share with you, and hope that it's helpful for you. This will be personal for me, but it may be different for you, but this is how it landed. So tomorrow is the Virgo new moon solar eclipse in the 29th degree of Virgo. And the 29th degree is a critical degree, the anuretic degree. It's a degree of mastery and completion and closure. And eclipses are also completion and closure. And then being that it's a new moon, it's also endings and beginnings. And this one in particular has been unique because we've also had another second Virgo new moon, which was at 0 degrees back in August. And so to me right away, that spurred an interest in this Virgo portal, because we went from 0 degrees, a critical degree of beginning and initiation, all the way to the 29th degree with 2 new moons beginning and simultaneously ending a cycle. So this has been a portal in and of itself from 0 to 29 in Virgo. So to me, that was like, pay attention to Virgo. And so I did. And in the middle of that, we had a Pisces lunar eclipse as well. So we are definitely in eclipse season, which ends tomorrow with this one. Now, what makes it even more personal for me was actually I woke up this morning, and from my dream state, I was repeating the word precision, precision, precision. And then as I kind of came into awareness, the first thought I had, the first word I even heard was Saturn. And then immediately I had this thought of Saturn opposing the solar eclipse tomorrow. And then that took me directly to a memory of me sitting on the front porch on our land at my cabin. And I had spent the night there after guiding a Virgo full moon circle back in March of 2023. Now, back in March of 2023, Saturn had moved into Pisces, which for me was my 6th house, and began its almost 3-year journey there. And the Virgo full moon was a few days after Saturn had moved into Pisces. And Virgo for me is in my 12th house. And so I immediately just kind of went back to that memory of sitting on my porch. And I remembered it being Virgo full moon because, one, I had been gifted a Palo Santo stick from my friend Mimi, and it was branded with Virgo full moon on it, and it was given to me in a glass tube, and it had the name of my business on the back. And I thought it was so beautiful, and I've always kept it in that glass tube, and feel like I don't know, it felt extra special where I could never burn it, so I've kept it. Little did I know that glass tube was like a message in a bottle, and Mimi was my messenger at the moment. And this Virgo branding on the bottle was a signal to me, which I did not realize until just now, that I was about to begin a journey of Virgo lessons, and that was supported by Saturn. So that morning, the morning after the Virgo full moon circle, I actually had really profound dreams that night that really made me want to sit down and journal them. So I sat down with my journal and I wrote them all down, and they felt so vivid and full of symbology and messages that I needed to decode them. And that was actually my first real practice of decoding dreams, to where ever since then I have consistently done that every day. All of my dreams have really come to life, which I think was part of that Piscean journey as well. And I have been obsessed with studying dreams, receiving messages and teachings and lessons and initiations through dreams. And it really started with that morning after the Virgo full moon, where I started to decode that very first dream. Now, this memory has caused me to reflect in hindsight from that very moment when Saturn began its journey in Pisces and the Virgo full moon and starting my dream journey. And since then, I have been going through a journey of health and well-being in my physical body. So Virgo rules the gut, your gut health, microorganisms, the digestive system in particular. And it also, microbes in particular. Virgo is all about the small details and can be all about organization and order and precision and overly orderly. And even, the shadow side of Virgo is being overly critical to a point of perfectionism and just like kind of too stuck in the details. But in this like medium to higher octave, it is more about service and devotion and having order, to be able to have rhythm, to live in right alignment, to not be in depletion and not be out of balance and out of order and disorderly, but to call on the Virgo energy to be in right order and in precision and care and nurturing and not over servicing to a point of depletion, but in a level of devotion that is both to your body temple and how you express that into the world. And so for me, Virgo is in my 12th house. The 12th house is also about the unseen realms, or the unconscious mind and the subconscious mind, also the dream realm. But it is also a house of mastery and enlightenment. And so for me, I see Virgo here as like, where have I been not paying attention to the unconscious behaviors or unconscious criticism or overly judgmental or critical or overanalyzation. And but also this Virgo energy has the opportunity to become aware of the details for a sense of mastery and enlightenment, to become aware of your dreams, aware of the shadow work needed, aware of the work needed in your health and well-being, in your body, in your gut. Anyway, Saturn, to speak to Saturn. So I mentioned Saturn because as of September 1st, Saturn has retrograded from Aries back into Pisces and is sitting in the late degrees of Pisces for Saturn's final lessons and closure. And the final degree of Pisces is the void. So it's also like sitting in that container, right, of everything that contains the everything. So just to sit in the stillness, to sit in the darkness, to sit in the shadow work of all that you've been through, and have you mastered the lessons. With it opposing Virgo, we have this really beautiful closure and requirement for mastery as we come to the 29th degrees of Virgo, the solar eclipse, the shadow of the eclipse moving over to uncover all the shadow work that you've done. And for me in particular, the shadow work that I have done through my physical routine. So that's the 6th house for me. Pisces is the 6th house. So through my daily practices of dream journaling, through all of my daily work. So that would be my own rhythms and exercise, health, meditation, food, supplements, and all of that for 3 years has come into focus in a really big way for me. So I have completely changed my diet during this time due to health issues I was having and gut issues I was having. And I had a complete coming to awareness of my hormonal journey at being, 47 years old and in perimenopause. So when I look back, in short, over the last 3 years, what has come into focus the loudest for me has definitely been through my journey of body consciousness, like literally listening to how my body is speaking and how it is doing every day and what it needs to eat. If I recall correctly, I feel like I remember on that Virgo full moon, I'd actually even been doing my very first water fast, which I was just kind of guided to do because it was a full moon. I did a 3-day water fast around that. And so not even knowing at that time that I was about to embark on this journey of the health and well-being of my body. But this summer in particular, so if you think about it as we're like moving towards a climax of understanding these two houses, the 6th and the 12th for me, and the Virgo and Saturn lessons, I really hit a wall this summer of like absolute detriment of my health and well-being. I was flat on my face every day, no energy. Something was off, something was wrong. I wasn't able to figure it out and diagnose myself. I wasn't seeking help or other professionals. I was really like white knuckling it and trying to do it myself and trying to do it holistically, and trying to maintain rigid form to my vegan diet that clearly wasn't working for me anymore, and my hormones that had shifted, and I was almost in like a not disregard, but just not wanting to come to grips with the aging process, or just not knowing how to really support that. Anyway, I hit a wall this summer and didn't feel great, and really actually had to come to a point of seeking help. And in that, so this final journey, this final push towards mastery, I got an awesome integrative functional medicine doctor, and I got tons of blood work done. I did a comprehensive gut health test. I got a scan of my heart, a mammogram. I did all the things and discovered what I need help with. So I was able to uncover the shadows of my body and what was keeping me out of good health and alignment. And, it felt really frustrating at the time to not feel good and to not have energy. But now I'm like back into good working order. I've gotten all the supplements that I needed to take. I've arranged my diet in a way that supports my body. And that was like overcoming some emotional stuff there as well, and learning to not be so rigid, which would be Virgo, and learning how we might need to adapt, and we might need to change. We might need to open up to things that are better for us and listen to what our bodies are asking for, which I did. So I find it interesting to come full circle, and that's just, some of the details. You don't need to know everything. I'm just trying to make an example here, but here we are. Yesterday I had a meeting with my doctor to actually go over my gut health test, and I received a 12-week protocol as well as some medicine and some more supplements to take, and I actually begin that tomorrow because all of my supplements arrive tomorrow. So on this Virgo solar eclipse, I begin what I would call my final closure practice of starting this 12-week protocol to really heal my gut once and for all, and to bring myself into total health and well-being. And I find it so interesting that I did not plan it that way, right? So it's just divine timing that I end up starting this gut health mastery program to come to completion with this lesson on this Virgo solar eclipse that rules the gut and rules the microorganisms in your body. And one more thing. Now, I know this video is getting long, but in late June, I also started to study progressions in astrology charts, and it was just in time to learn that my progressed moon on July 1st was shifting into Virgo. And that means I'm going to be processing my emotions, my moon, my emotional body through the lens of the Virgo sign. And for the next 2.5 years. So this to me was also like, wow, I'm really resonating with the energy of Virgo this year, which is another reason I kind of decided to pay attention so closely. And it turns out 5 days later, after learning that I've shifted into this Virgo progressed moon, we go to Tulum. In Tulum, I also pick up a stomach bug while I was there. That I came home, I was fine in Tulum, but I came home with this stomach bug that lasted it was like a month-long journey, which really exacerbated all my other gut health issues that I hadn't resolved or known about, and it really pushed me. So I can actually thank this germ for pushing me deeper into having to study my body and to really listen to my body. So on that note, I would say that your body consciousness will always be speaking to you, and it doesn't have to get so loud. But if we don't listen and we don't take action on what our body is trying to tell us and teach us, it will get louder and louder and louder until it becomes challenging, which is what I did. And all along the way, I had videos that I had made about like, wow, I think I'm really learning body consciousness, and wow, I'm really learning to listen to my body. And in some ways I was, definitely. But apparently not enough, because my body had to speak louder and louder and louder, all the way to where my immune system wasn't strong enough, and I wasn't or I guess I divinely contracted this bug in order for me to hit a wall, to have to seek support and to actually dive into my microorganisms and learn about them and what was off balance, and to bring that back into balance and order. So I know this is a long story, but to wrap it up, here I sit at the solar eclipse and starting this gut health mastery program to really once and for all clean up my system, bring it back into order, back into balance, and to also remember that I don't need to hold a perfectionism around it, because that would be the shadow of Virgo, but to bring in precision, the word I woke up with this morning, to realize the precision of this message, of this portal of 3 years through the journey of Saturn and Virgo, and how precise the universe is always in communication with us and guiding us, and these journeys are meant for us. And sometimes the astrology speaks very loudly, very clear, and very precise, and it is for us to pay attention to. And sometimes not so much. The lesson's not there for you. It's at play, but it's not there for you. I freaking love these precise messages, especially when you're paying attention and working consciously with your blueprint and life and the cosmos and how this energy is at play. There is a level of order and precision and constant messaging all around us and within us. And I just felt like it was so beautiful to have this realization, to wake up from my dream world with the message of precision, which immediately brought me to Saturn and Virgo. And I don't think I would have ever remembered that this journey started with the Virgo full moon and Saturn moving into the Pisces 3 years ago without my dream world, my 12th house. And the 6th house, because 6th house is Pisces. It's ruled by Neptune. That's also the dream world. So I have been in this axis of dreams and health and daily, routine and rhythm for this journey with Virgo. I think it's beautiful. And I only share this because I hope it helps you to reflect on your own cycles that you're moving through and how the cosmos are speaking to you, and how helpful and useful astrology can be for decoding. And I personally love decoding because it's probably because of my Mayan astrology sign. I'm a red spectral earth, and I am literally designed to be a master of synchronicity and to love to play scavenger hunts. And if you know me at all, and you've known me for years, you know that I always am playing spiritual scavenger hunts. And I find that my guides speak to me through clues and messages and license plates and songs, and in that playful essence of scavenger hunts. And so I feel like astrology is kind of like that. It's spoken through codes, and the universe speaks through codes and signs and synchronicities. And if we're paying attention, we can solve and decode and understand ourselves a little bit better. So this is a longer video. Probably put it on YouTube in case it's helpful for anyone. I just wanted to share. Hopefully it makes sense. I wish you all the love and blessings on this solar eclipse tomorrow. I really do feel like, again, to just kind of wrap up my own story, in case, again, it helps you wrap up your story. This eclipse tomorrow, 29th degree, the last degree of Pisces, while my progress moon sits here for the next 2.5 years, and I went through this final initiation portal this summer into my body temple, I feel like it has been a purification journey, so that as I move through this progress moon, I am not stuck in the density in my body, but I'm in a clear communication channel with my body. And I have brought myself through this purification portal for 3 years so that I can be a vessel for spirit to move through me, so that I can move to that higher octave of Virgo, which is devotion and sacred order and alignment. And in my 12th house in particular, that is mastery itself. That is enlightenment. So I'm not saying I'm an enlightened being, but I am saying that through my body, which is a quantum technology, and it is an antenna directly to source, I am purifying, and I am able, willing, and open to receive the messages, the guidance of the universe, of source, of God, of my guides. And I am in devotion to this vessel. I love and accept my body even more than I ever have, even though it has changed so much in the last 3 years in particular. So I hope you have profound breakthroughs and clarity during this eclipse, and I hope you find peace and more connection to your heart, this quantum generator, and I wish you all the best. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if it was, and I love you guys. See you next time.